Hello my friends, and welcome back to the channel. You're watching Project Dark Knight Horror, and I am your host, the Dark Knight. Today, we're focusing on the scariest found footage, part 2. We're going to take a deep dive into the world of the lost tapes. Ever since the invention of the camcorder, people from all over the world would record and document memories, special events, and close family moments to save for the future and to look back on later in life, or to show to their children when they come of age. And ever since the boom of social media, cameras and recording have become the norm. But every now and then, something unexpected also gets caught in the moment and becomes frozen in time forever. Or while filming a night out with your friends, having a great time and filming lots of memories, all of a sudden, an accident occurs, and it turns out that everything leading up to that moment will forever be known as the last few moments on Earth. These are then known forever as found footage tapes. So stick the kettle on and make a cup of tea, and let me show you the truth. It's that time again, so close the door, shut the curtains, and turn off the lights, and go full screen as you get ready to watch the scariest found footage with background information, part 2. Before we begin, if you're a fan of horror and all things strange, dark and creepy, or you're interested in ghosts, poltergeists and demons, and all things paranormal, then press the subscribe button to become a Dark Knight. It is free after all. And don't forget to turn on your bell icon. That way, whenever I upload a video, you will know. Let's begin. Stalked while hiking. The following disturbing footage was found by two hunters in a remote part deep in the forest of the Alpine tundra in North America. A few years before this VHS footage was found and digitalized, a hiker went missing while on a routine hike back from his favorite fishing spot. The hiker that went missing was known in these parts of the Appalachian Mountains and its surrounding forests. In all accounts, the camper was an experienced outdoorsman and a seasoned camper and hunter. In other words, he could sustain himself living and hunting off the land. But after an unknown length of time in the forest, his family realized something was wrong when he never returned home after his usual time away. The Appalachian Mountains and its surrounding forest cover an area about 61,500 square miles, which is 159,000 kilometers squared. Think about it like this: the Appalachians are 1.5 times bigger than France. And somewhere in all of that dense forest, caves, valleys, mountains, rivers and streams, one lone hiker disappeared. So two hunters found an old broken camera, and luckily they had the sense to check if there was any tape inside. Some of the footage on the video was corrupted due to water and weather damage. From the rest of the tape, it appears that the hiker was stalked and finally attacked by something unknown. What you're about to see is probably the last few moments of the hiker's actual footage. Watch. There was an extended part of the tape that I had to cut out due to YouTube's restriction policy. Suffice to say that there was a lot of screaming while something attacked and probably ate him alive. Whatever happened to the hunter, no one knows, but these are his last few moments before something terrible happened. A full investigation and search commenced in the days and weeks after he vanished, but nothing ever came of it. The hunter's name has been kept out of the video due to respect for the family. May he rest in peace. The final destination. In August 1984, over the hills and forest of Tabanash, Colorado, a private airplane took off at Granby at 1300 hours. The plane was a Cessna L-19 and on the day it took off, it had 2 occupants, the pilot and the passenger. The authorities knew that something was wrong when the private plane failed to arrive at its final destination. That day, in August 1984, despite an exhausted land and aerial search, the plane was never seen again. That is, until 3 years later, when hikers came across something metallic. They followed the debris and wreckage and found the plane. The plane was found on a slope of a high tree-covered ridge, which is why it was hard to spot from the air. Officials recovered the videotape that you're about to watch from inside the plane. The found footage from the wreckage provided us with a visual and audio account of the flight from takeoff right through to the impact. Watch. Officials compared the footage with maps and wind speeds of the day of the crash, and they came to this theory. Minutes before the crash, the plane was climbing higher into the air, and so too was the landscape and the ridge. The pilot was lower than he thought, and as he got closer to the ridge, he realized that he wasn't high enough, and he couldn't clear the peak. So he made a sharp 60-degree turn, and as he did so, he also stalled the engine. In the footage, the warning horn could be heard 3 times as he turned, and during the last few seconds of the tape, the terrain dominated the view through the cockpit window. As the pilot turned, the engine stalled and the plane straightaway started to lose altitude, and then the plane flipped over, and as it entered the trees and crashed into the ridge that became its final destination. Just before they crashed, the pilot shouts out to the passenger to hold on, Ronnie.
Damn, hang on, Ronnie!
A twisted fire starter. The following footage has been seen a lot of times on found footage videos on other channels, but after doing my research on the arson found footage tape, I found out some details that I've never heard before, and so I dug some more, and this is what I uncovered. In 1988, a news broadcast hit the TV stations about a house in Redwood City, California that was on fire. The news reports were all filming live, but no one knew at the time how the fire started. The house that got burned down was empty and was under construction. In other words, it was in the process of getting built. So after the blaze was put out, the police started their investigation, and they got a lucky break because 1 year later, on the 15th of August 1989, along the Interstate 205 near Stockton, California, a man called Alfonso's car broke down due to overheating in the scorching summer heat. He pulled over to the side of the road, left his wife and son in the car, and went in search of help to a nearby house. On the way to the house, he noticed an old military camouflage jacket stuffed in the bushes. The jacket had this badge on it. As he checked the jacket pockets, a videotape fell out with no label on. Also, inside the jacket were several audio cassettes of heavy metal music. Alfonso and the family took the contents home with them and decided to watch the tape. And they were stunned when they realized what they were watching. The video that Alfonso found in the jacket is the footage that you are about to see. The police were convinced at the time that the person holding the camera also set fire to the house. The disturbing voice in the tape belongs to the arsonist as he watches his handiwork from afar. He sounds happy as he talks over the camera and breathes heavily and laughs. Watch. After watching the tape, Alfonso knew what it was and decided to turn it over to the police. The fire captain at the time was called Frank Curry, and he was shocked and scared when he saw it and heard the malice in the voice of the arsonist. At one point, the arsonist says, "Look at it, Omar. Look at it, Omar. This is what I've been doing on your week's vacation. I said I'll do it. I told you I'll do it." So who was this Omar mentioned on the tape? Was Omar the property owner? Was the fire revenge related? The authorities speculated that this Omar worked on the construction site and hired the arsonist to work alongside him, but then fired him for some reason, which was the motive for the fire. Also, near the jacket, the police found a wooden pestle used to grind herbs in rituals. Also, they found a glove and a ceramic skull. The pestle and the skull suggest Satanism, and certain portions of the arsonist's monologue did so too. For example, in the footage he says, "This is hell, I call it home. My hell. The whole sky is black with smoke. This is the fire that will destroy and burn up your soul. Ancient spirits of evil." So either he's into rituals or he loves Mumra from the Thundercats. Either way, it's creepy. Of course, these could be the ramblings of an angry teenager set on pissing off his boss. But the way he films the fire means he planned it, brought along the items and the camera. And the way he reflects on the destruction like it's a work of art. The results. The location of the burning house was number 3 Colton Court in Redwood City. A viewer from nearby Woodside, Doris Lance, believed that this Omar referred to on the tape was her 17-year-old neighbor, and after questioning and an investigation, Omar finally confessed to knowing about the fire, and said his friend had set the fire and recorded it. Omar gave up his arson friend, a 19-year-old boy called John from Redwood City, and when the police checked the house and garage, they found some disturbing things. Things like multiple dismembered animals, a cutting table with a large blade, bloody knives, and a Freddy Krueger mask and glove. The police were worried about John and said that he showed traits that were en route to him becoming a serial killer. Then, finally, on the 27th of September 1990, John broke down and finally admitted to the arson and recording the tape. John also admitted to the arson of another 14 fires. They both pleaded guilty, but because both men were under 18 at the time of the crimes, they were both tried as minors. John was ordered to undergo psychiatric treatment at an inpatient facility and also had to register with the police as a known arsonist until the age of 30. Omar, on the other hand, was sentenced to juvenile hall for a short period of time and later released. A $5 million secret. The next piece of found footage is a weird one, but very interesting all the same, so bear with me. Also, I must admit, technically, the footage wasn't found, it was posted online, but no one knew who filmed and uploaded it. Also, it was filmed in secret, and since then, no one knows what happened to the person who recorded it afterwards. Here's the background information. On the 17th of November 2011, a mysterious video titled "You Have 30 Days to Pay Me $5 Million" was released online via LiveLeak and Facebook, and then, shortly afterwards, it was uploaded to YouTube. Also, alongside the video, there was a website that was created called nowiknow.com that featured a countdown on screen for 1 month, which was December the 18th. The description of the video simply stated, "I just want to sell my silence. You have 30 days to pay me $5 million. Otherwise, I will upload the full version of the video." The video itself was footage of a mysterious man building and modifying a remote-controlled car with a GoPro camera mounted on the top. The footage was filmed in first-person mode. In other words, you never saw his face, you only saw what he was doing and where he went. In the video, after he finished modifying the car. It was followed with footage of his flight and arrival into Egypt, and it ended with him approaching the base of one of the Great Pyramids, where he places the modified RC car into a tiny shaft leading deeper into the pyramid. After some distance down the shaft, there's suddenly some interference of the camera as something comes into view. Just then, the camera cuts out. I want you to watch this video very carefully, and if you notice anything, no matter how big or small the detail is, like names, addresses, reflections, or anything at all, and if you do, drop it down in the comment section below, and let's see if we can piece this puzzle together. Here is the video. Watch. When the website's countdown hit 0, true to his word, the mysterious man uploaded the full-length version of the video. At the end of the tape, as the car drives down the shaft towards the center of the pyramid, it exits the shaft out into some sort of room, and we see what vaguely appears to be a figure of some sort, which is where the video cuts out after the interference. And that's it. There's no further information and no clear answer as to what the hell was the purpose of the footage. So many questions come to mind while watching this video, like who was the man and who was the video targeted at? Did he work on site or in the pyramid? And was he an archaeologist? And what did he find in the pyramid? Naturally, the theories range from the norm to the downright bizarre, like the footage being some sort of student project, or a viral advertisement, or it was an underground bunker where the government kept aliens, or even stranger still, it was the home of an immortal Egyptian priest. Well, I did say the theories were out there, didn't I? I've done my research and, as far as I can tell, no one has come forward as to the creator of the footage. This video has stuck with me over the years because it's so unusual and random that it must be real, right? I mean, I want nothing more than to know who made it and why, and what did he find out there. The original website was shut down not long after the video aired, and there was nothing else about this in the news or the papers, meaning it was covered up. Obey the Walrus. Warning. Watching the following footage is said to make bad things happen, so watch with caution. The following footage is a mystery, just like it was on the day it was uploaded. The reason I've included this piece of footage in this video is because the video itself is very creepy and disturbing, and because there's a lack of context, the footage leaves the viewer very confused and has a sense that they're watching something that they really shouldn't. And lastly, the music in the background is weird and distorted, which makes the whole viewing experience all the more twisted. If you've heard about or seen the horror movie called The Ring, well, this video reminds me of that movie. Now, some of you would have already seen this, so if you have, just skip it to the next chapter, or bear with me, you might learn something new. For anyone else who has never seen this video, let's begin. The original video first surfaced on YouTube in 2005. Then it disappeared, and 2 years later it was seen again when it was uploaded in 2007 by the YouTube channel Obey the Walrus. The re-uploaded version has got 6.6 million views, and the length of the clip is 1 minute 20 seconds. Obey the Walrus is known in Spain as Abadisi a la Mosa, and the video allegedly was created by a Latin American cult known as La Mosa or the Walrus. And it is said that bad things happen after watching the video. So, are you brave enough to look? 3, 2, 1. Watch.
La pequeña araña en un tubo se subió.
The video begins with Andros from the video game series Star Fox singing Itsy Bitsy Spider in Spanish. Then the song speeds up and it shows a distorted background. Then it shows a person named Sandy Crisp wandering about with an umbrella while distorted music is playing. She then comes closer to the camera before the image of a walrus is shown. The person in the video, Sandy Crisp, was born January the 13th in 1960 in California. She was a transgender woman who unfortunately contracted polio. Polio is an infectious disease caused by a virus that can spread from person to person, and it causes paralysis. Sandy experienced malpractice at the hands of the doctors who were treating her illness. They left her disfigured and disabled, and she had to use canes and a wheelchair to get around later in life. Before she died on the 27th of January 2021 because of COVID, she was seen in a Marilyn Manson music video for MTV. The clips from the video you just watched came from the 1994 film titled The Goddess Bunny. Because there's no context or any information about the video from start to finish, it leaves the viewers extremely confused as to what they just watched, and each viewer is left with a feeling of dread, like they shouldn't have watched it. Maybe it's Sadie's appearance or the distorted music that creeps us out. Over the years, there's been tons of theories about the video, but I really want to hear yours. And be honest, did you close your eyes or did you actually watch the video? A view to a kill. On the 26th of June 2011, in Macon, Georgia, a man called Stephen McDaniel killed his fellow law student by the name of Lauren Giddings. Stephen McDaniel and Lauren Giddings both lived in the same neighborhood and were both former classmates at Mercer University. On the night of the murder, around 4:30 in the morning, McDaniel used a master key to gain access into Lauren's home. He wore a mask and gloves, and while she slept, McDaniel wrapped his hands around her neck and strangled Lauren to death. Then, according to McDaniel's police interview footage, the following morning he dismembered her corpse in the bathroom using a hacksaw. Most of Lauren's remains were disposed of in a dumpster on campus, but for some unknown reason, her torso was thrown in a trash can right outside her home. The investigation. Lauren was reported missing on the 30th of June, 4 days after her death. And when the police started the initial investigation, that's when her torso was discovered, right outside her home. And so, the police changed tactics from a missing person to a full-blown murder hunt. McDaniel was overly helpful and very confident and came across very suspicious, which is why he became the prime suspect in the investigation.
WGXA first interviewed McDaniel the day after Lauren Giddings was reported missing in June of 2011. Reporter Michelle Casada found him standing outside the apartment building where he and Giddings had lived, and that we now know was the scene of the crime. He talks about joining Giddings' friends to look for his law school classmate and how they entered her apartment to see if there was anything wrong. It was also the first time McDaniel found out that a portion of Lauren Giddings' body had been recovered by police from the dumpster where he had put it. Knowing now that McDaniel had murdered and dismembered Giddings, the interview provides a glimpse inside the mind of a killer as he builds his story and his alibi. Take a look.
Yeah, Lauren was my neighbor. We're just trying to find out where she is at this point. I mean, no one has seen her since Saturday. I mean, the last time anyone heard from her was an email that she sent out, and no one's heard from her since.
Did you see her hang out with anyone at the time, anything like that?
I mean, no one has seen her since Saturday. I haven't seen anything. I mean, I've always heard noise outside, but it's just people walking by pretty much.
And she just recently graduated from Mercer?
Yeah, she and I were both JD students. We graduated back in May.
What kind of person was she? I mean, what did you see?
I mean, she's as nice as can be. I mean, very personable, very much a people person.
Do you know any enemies she might have had, somebody that might want to hurt her?
No, we don't know where she is. I mean, the only thing we can think is that maybe she went out running and someone snatched her. Because I mean, we went over. One of her friends had a key. We went inside and tried to see if there was anything amiss, but I mean, she had a door jamb that was sitting right by it, so there was no sign that anyone broke in. I mean, the door was locked when everyone got here. I mean, we just don't know where she is.
What about in the parking lot area? I know they've been doing a lot of. I think that's where they have recovered the body or whatever they recovered from there.
Body?
Had you seen anything there? Had you seen anything there? I mean, we don't know if this is the same person. You know what I mean? Like, they took out a body there earlier. We don't know if it's the same person or not. That's why we're trying to ask people if they know who lived there. Are you okay, sir?
I think I need to sit down.
Okay.
Okay, that's the first clip of video Michelle Casada did with Stephen McDaniel last Thursday, a week ago. To you, did he seem genuinely upset with the fact that the body had been discovered?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, his expression, as you see in the beginning of the interview, he's very forthcoming with information. You know, he's calm. At this point, he only thinks that she's missing, so I guess he's, just offering information, anything that he can do to help. And then as soon as I mentioned the body, which I assumed that he already knew since everyone had been out there since 10 a.m. It had been all over the news, all over the web, and I guess he had been pulled in for questioning, and police, I don't know what police have told him, had told him at that time, so I guess no one had informed him that a body was recovered.
All right, this second video, what will we see?
Okay, so the second video is he actually gets pulled into the AT&T building next door. One of the employees brought him in, I guess to just relax for a couple minutes after he found out about the news. And then he comes back out maybe 20 minutes later, and I asked him if he was okay, and he came up to me and began talking again. So at this point, our camera started rolling again, and he seemed receptive to it. He was not, he was not upset, saying that he didn't want to talk, so he just started talking again.
All right, clip 2 with Stephen McDaniel, Michelle Casada from last Thursday, guys.
You've been studying for the bar?
No one had seen her since Saturday because we all just, there's not a whole lot of interaction unless we're doing classes.
Right.
And she was doing the online version of it.
You all studied together though?
We were in, there's two different people, there's two companies that provide it. Kaplan provides it and Barbary provides it. I signed up with Barbary and I've been doing the lectures that they have in the mornings. She was doing the Kaplan online, so I hardly ever saw her. I would see her go out running, but
What time would she go out running?
I don't even know when.
Was it at night or morning?
I saw her midday a couple weeks ago. That was the last time I saw her, was coming back from the bar prep on the main campus because we got moved over there for a week or two.
But she normally would run. That was the
routine
that she had.
She ran all the time. She had a group that she would go running with. I don't know anyone that would want to hurt her. She was as nice a person as there is.
Was she moving soon? Did you know anything about her?
Yeah. She was going to be moving out today. She was supposed to move out today.
McDaniel was so confident that he voluntarily went to the police station to give a statement, and the police interrogated him for over 12 hours, and they searched his flat. And so, on the 2nd of July, McDaniel was placed in jail where he would remain until he was charged with first-degree murder. The police found several pieces of damning evidence that linked McDaniel to the crime. This included the hacksaw, Lauren's torso, his fingerprints, and the video footage that you're about to see. The video. On the last night of Lauren Giddings' life, while she was in bed, her killer was on the prowl. Using duct tape, Stephen McDaniel lashed a video camera to a 6-foot-long wooden stick, and while standing beneath the window to her second-floor flat, he pointed the camera into her window. The sad truth was, Stephen McDaniel was in love with Laura Giddings. He was so in love with her to the point of obsession. They both lived in the same complex, and they both studied at the same university. And 1.5 months earlier, they both had graduated. But then, out of the blue, Lauren dropped the news that she was leaving. She had already made plans to move away. This didn't go down well with McDaniel. If he couldn't have her, then no one could. And so in the final hours of her life, McDaniel started spying on her. And this is what he recorded. Watch. Later that night, Lauren Giddings was killed. The day after Lauren was reported missing by friends and family, a news channel, WGXA, was in the area doing an appeal for anyone who could help find Lauren. When lo and behold, Stephen McDaniel turns up and, once again, voluntarily gives a statement. Now, remember, McDaniel at this time had already killed Lauren, dismembered her body, and disposed of her remains. To him, he's committed the perfect crime. In the following clip, he comes across very suspicious and overly helpful as he describes Lauren's day-to-day routines, things that only someone close like family should know. Of course, now we have the foresight because we now know he killed her, but it's fascinating and sad watching how McDaniel acted at the time. Shortly after this, Stephen McDaniel was interviewed and charged and remanded into custody for the murder of Lauren Giddings. Stephen McDaniel pleaded guilty and was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 30 years. He's eligible for parole in 2041. It's been 12 years since Lauren's death. She would have been 39 years old now. Her life was taken from her, and her family and friends miss her dearly. Rest in peace, Lauren. You'll forever be remembered. If you've seen something scary, creepy, or amazing, and you captured something paranormal on camera, or maybe you're a paranormal investigator and you need some help to get your content out there, or you might be unlucky enough to live in a haunted house and you need some help and advice because you think you're all alone. Well, you're not. Project Dark Knight Horror is here for you. So send in your videos, clips, links, photos, stories, ideas, and more to Project Dark Knight. The email is on screen. Thank you. if you go down to the woods tonight. The following piece of content that you're about to watch ticks all the boxes according to what we expect to see in found footage. There's not a lot of information when it comes to the backstory. If you watch my videos on the regs, you'll know that I'm a geek when it comes to the information. All I can tell you is this. In 1997, a married couple went camping in the Emerson County forest, and they were never seen or heard from again. So the forest rangers spread out, and after 3 days they came across an empty campsite, and a few hours later they found a video camera, a machete, and a flask. The machete and the flask shed no clues on the case, but the footage that the rangers recovered showed the missing couple walking through the forest. In the full version, which is much longer, the footage shows the campsite and the hike into the forest that the couple took. But for the sake of this video, we're going to be focusing on their last few moments of what they experienced in the forest that day. We believe that the couple came across something not human. Whether it was a ghost or some type of cryptid, that is up for debate. Whatever it was real. And it chased the couple, and that's when they dropped the camera, the machete, and the flask as they were trying to get away. Watch.
Do you see that? Over there, look, over there. Do you see that?
What the hell?
Wait, because that was it again, right there. Wait.
I don't like this.
You see that? Right there. Look.
Oh my god. That's not an animal. I don't like it.
Okay, fuck it. Go.
Whoever uploaded this video also added the music for effect, which was a mistake. In this kind of situation, every sound could be a clue. Also, I don't know why the footage is in black and white. Maybe it was in night vision and the couple were using the screen to navigate. And then suddenly, the couple stops because the man sees something moving through the trees. As he watches it on the screen, he zooms in and he asks his wife if she can see it also. Whatever this thing is, it freezes momentarily, so it's hard to see. But a few seconds later, it moves, and this time his wife sees it. If you've ever seen the original version of The Predator, this footage reminds me of that movie. The thing moving through the trees looks see-through, but whatever it is, you can see its outline as it moves past the trees. They lose track of it momentarily as it stops, and the woman can be heard saying, "I don't like this." The whole time they're watching this thing in the forest, it's moving through the trees towards the left, which is away from them. But it must have spotted them because suddenly the thing stops moving towards the left and it steps out straight towards them. You can see it move closer as it approaches. All of a sudden, it lets out this distorted, loud screech as you see it coming after the couple. This is the moment that the couple turn and run, and from somewhere behind them, very close, you can hear this thing screeching behind them. And then the footage freezes as the sounds fade away. This is the moment we think that the couple dropped the camera. The scary found footage. For our final piece of found footage, we're going back to the year 2006. This piece of footage has always stayed with me over the years like a companion. And every now and then, a piece of footage comes along that is just so scary and realistic that it gets stored away in the library in our subconscious. For me, it was videos like Tim, John and Ben, when they went into the basement and something chased them away. Or another video that stayed with me was the Croatian stalking tape. In that video, two men were out trying their camera one night when they realized that a man with some sort of bag on his head was following them. In fact, I featured that clip in part 1 of this video, and even though it might have been fake, it was still scary. Another video that has stuck with me over the years is the footage that you are about to watch. I think the reason that videos like this stick with us in the back of our subconscious is because it could happen to you or I. And the fact that the people on the footage went missing and they were never found again really is scary. Especially when you see the last few hours, minutes or seconds on the footage that was found. So back in 2006, two friends completely disappeared without a trace. Their families said that they went out for the evening, but they never returned home. In the video, which is just over 5 minutes long, one man is driving and the other is filming. The only information I could find on this all said the same thing. The two friends were on their way home and they decided to take a shortcut through the forest, and they were never seen or heard from ever again. Their car was found some distance away alongside a video camera, and this is the footage that was found inside. We don't know why they decided to take a shortcut through the forest, or even if there was a shortcut. Maybe they were a little under the influence of drugs and alcohol and didn't see the dangers. But whatever their reason, unfortunately it turned out to be their last. Watch.
Se jävla mørkt det. Jeg ser jo ikke noen ting. Bare ikke på lyset. Nei, det var ikke det. Idiot. Jeg tror det var så tåkete, eller sånn doggete på ruta. There's only you in my mind. My first love. Jeg sier ikke på rett spor nå, eller? Det var litt mer på nå. Ikke kjent det. Nå skjønner jeg veien her var litt creepy. Hva faen er jeg for noe? Nei. Nå begynner jeg å bli lei, ja. Ok, opp eller ned? Hva faen er det helt ødelig? Ned da. Skru på, skru på! Den er på der. Den er på. Ser du det? Nei, nå løper den i skogen. Fy faen, så du det? Jeg som vet hva det er. Skal vi stoppe? Jeg har noe. Ja, det har stoppet, ja. La oss åpne opp bagasjerommet. Skal vi kameraet? Ja. Så du hvor det ble, eller? Ja. Faen, det kan det. Just det. Nei. Det er faen meg overalt.
The footage starts with the friends listening to music on their way to their destination. The mood is one of happiness and friendship. As the footage progresses, they leave the urban landscape behind them, and you start to see more and more trees appearing on both sides of the road as they drive down a forest lane. Then, a moment later, the car stops in front of a barrier, which was meant to stop people from entering private land. One of the guys steps out and merrily lifts the barrier, and they drive through. A few minutes later, they're now driving down another country lane. It's pitch black outside, apart from the car's headlights. In that situation, they couldn't hear or see anything apart from the road ahead. But on the other hand, they would have been visible to other people and the car would have been loud, so someone should have seen them coming a mile away. They get to the second barrier, but this one is locked, so they start driving again, deeper into the unknown. Now they have slowed down considerably and they look and sound worried. They see a sign and they get out of the car. They get a flashlight from the back of the car and they start to hear weird sounds all around them. It sounds animalistic, almost like a goat, but there's something not quite right. Whatever it is that's making that sound, it's coming closer, and the men look scared and are silent. The sound is coming from the trees around them. They move the light around, trying to get a look at whatever is stalking them, and one of the men laughs, but it's out of fear of the unknown. Then something appears in the center of the screen, moving directly towards them. There's a second delay before one of the men screams out, probably because it was pitch black and he couldn't see anything until it was already too late. One of the men makes it back to the safety of the car, and he starts crying as reality dawns on him. What just happened? He starts up the engine, but then the attacker appears outside the car, which startles the driver, and he screams again. Just before the video ends, that thing makes an awful animalistic noise again and grabs the driver and drags him off into the night. If you've made it to the end, then I salute you. You prove that you're a true fan of horror. So remember, if you're interested in ghosts, poltergeists and demons, cursed objects, haunted houses and randonautica, animal attacks, serial killers and strange dark mysteries, then Project Dark Knight Horror is the channel for you. If you like what you see and you think I deserve it, then can I kindly ask you to press the subscribe button for me? It's absolutely free for you, and just with the click of your finger, you can help my channel grow. And the bigger the channel, the more videos I can make for you. This year, my goal is to hit 500,000 subscribers, so I really could use some help. Before you go, I have 3 more quick things to talk about. First off, if you're a fan of horror, why not join Project Dark Knight on my private Facebook group? There, you'll be in great company. We have lots of different people from lots of different backgrounds, from lots of different countries. But we all share one thing in common, and that is our love for horror. So click the link in the description section and join the group, and let's have some fun. Next, if you didn't know, I've designed some merch. I've combined my love for horror with my love for all things urban, and what you see is the finished product. So, if you want to grab a piece of Project Dark Knight history, the link is down below. And remember, they are original to the channel and have been designed by myself, the Dark Knight. And who knows, when my channel blows up, these could become collector items. So grab them while you can. The link is down below. And lastly, I'd like to thank my lovely Patreons who have been a valuable member of Project Dark Knight. Some of the names on this list have been with me from the beginning. These names are Thorson Lip, Turtle Chief 9, Andrew M. Gross, Laura Rhodey, Countess Monette, Greasy Cox, Donna Sayers, Catherine Murphy, Trumpet, Anna, Elizabeth Bielek, KJ Majid, Honey Badger, Charlie X24, Judah, Christy Santi Steven, Seth J, Chris, Randy Crates, Martin Rabi, Anthony Sornoff Unwin, Jacob Wilk, Cynthia Glover, Tommy Bowers, and Eddie E. I just want to say a massive thank you to you all. Some of you have been with me since the beginning, and it's because of people like you who push me and always send me messages about my health and well-being. And that really keeps me going. I know I haven't always been consistent, my friends, but I'm really going to try harder. I really can't thank you all enough. Your generosity means so much. And I know you know this already, but it's thanks to people like you who keep the engines running at Project Dark Knight. And always remember, you've been watching Project Dark Knight Horror, and I am the Dark Knight. Signing off. Peace!
Don't ever laugh as the hearse goes by, for you may be the next to die. They wrap you up in a big white sheet, from your head down to your feet. They put